I mean, it's really interesting, right? Because he's had a jam-packed 8 years as chair. We've seen a global pandemic and, all that did to the economy. We saw the run-up in inflation after that. And I think in any kind of normal time, that would have been his legacy, his response to the pandemic, but also kind of the Fed's delay in raising rates to combat that high inflation. But now, I think a lot of people are looking to what's currently going on between the Fed chair and the president as perhaps really marking Chair Powell's legacy. And that's kind of this battle to keep the Fed independent.
How do you anticipate Jay Powell to behave as a Fed board member, but not the Fed chair? Because he's going to stay on in his role as a member of the board, even as he hands reins as Fed chair over to Kevin Warsh.
Yeah, that's right. And it's an unusual step. We've only ever seen this once before in history, and that was in the late 40s, early 50s. So it's been a long time. We don't really have a blueprint for this. But what he has said, Chair Powell himself, is that he will take a very kind of low-key approach to this. He won't be, we won't be hearing from him a lot. He won't be trying to act as kind of a shadow chair or anything like that. So it really does seem like he wants to kind of fade into the background a little bit, obviously do his job as a governor, but not be too out in the open about it. Really let the new chair kind of take over.
So, Catarina, I'm sure President Trump would like to see Jerome Powell just off the Fed altogether, but presumably that would take some greater reassurance that Mr. Powell would not have legal liability in the future. Are we anywhere along those discussions? Are those discussions even being had?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right about that. And also, I think he wants to see some or have some sort of assurance that the Fed itself also won't be, that there won't be further legal attacks against it. So, that would be like the administration trying to fire someone else at the Fed. So, I mean, we have a couple things happening. Right now, there is an internal investigation going on that the Fed is now conducting itself into this. Powell's testimony last year before Congress. This was the reason why we had the DOJ investigation in the fall and winter, why we had these subpoenas against Powell. This is what started this whole criminal process against him. That has been passed along to the Fed. So at some point we'll get a report on that. And they can make criminal recommendations to the DOJ if they see fit. So I think he'll want to see that through. And then we're also waiting on a Supreme Court decision about Governor Lisa Cook, who Trump tried to fire last year. So I think he will also want to kind of see that, I'm guessing. So there's a few different things kind of hanging in the air still.
When it comes to Powell's legacy, I think about how Ben Bernanke, his predecessor, created this precedent where there's a news conference after every decision as opposed to after certain decisions. What did Jay Powell do that kind of changed the way the Fed communicates with the public?
Yeah, so Chair Bernanke started the press conferences, but they were just quarterly when he and when then Fed Chair Janet Yellen were doing them. Powell actually is the one that started doing them after every meeting.
I see, thank you.
Yeah, that's definitely kind of a communication legacy for him, and we'll see if that continues in the Warsh era. Yeah.
In addition to sitting on the Fed board, has Mr. Powell said what he will do now that he steps down from the Fed chairmanship? Is he going to do anything outside of the Fed?
No, and they usually don't. I mean, that's a full-time job. They usually, no one at the Fed, none of the Fed policymakers right now have other jobs or do anything else. That's their sole focus. So I wouldn't expect that from him. And honestly, even if he were to fully leave, or whenever he does fully leave the Fed, I don't know if we'll see him do anything else. He's in his 70s. He has grandchildren that he talks about frequently. So I don't know if I would expect him to do a lot even after he leaves the Fed.
Sounds like he's ready for retirement. As he stays on the Fed board but is no longer chair, is he going to be a prolific Fed speaker. You know, if you go to EcoGo on the Bloomberg terminal, you can see which Fed governors or Fed officials will be speaking. Do we expect Jay Powell to do any of that?
I don't think so, or not much. That's at least what he's indicated. He said, you know, we won't be hearing from him that much. So, I mean, I would expect maybe every once in a while a speech. And the governors do speak frequently, as you mentioned, so that is normal for them. But I think because he has, you know, he was, or, you know, is the chair, soon to be stepping down. But because he has that background, I think he'll want to be careful because it might come off as him trying to steer the committee or kind of come back to that leadership role, right? And he definitely does not, you know, has said he doesn't want to be doing that.
Kevin Warsh coming to Fed chair. What are the expectations now within, you know, Fed watchers about what he's going to do in his first days and weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. He has spent a long time over the past few years. He's really written a lot about what he would like to change at the Fed and some of the things he would like to do. Everything from how the Fed communicates and to how it thinks about inflation, the kind of models it uses, even the Fed staff. So he's said a lot of these things, but we just don't know how quickly he's going to be able to implement some of these changes or how quickly he'll want to. I mean, I imagine that he'll probably want to kind of get a lay of the land. You know, he was a Fed governor, but 15 years ago at this point, right? So a long time ago. So I imagine maybe in the first few weeks we won't see a lot of change yet. And then gradually, kind of over time, we'll start to see some things change. But we'll just have to see. We really don't know. We haven't gotten a lot of specifics from him about, you know, when he'll do the things he wants to do.